There are some Hollywood stories that refuse to die. Ask almost anyone over 40 about Christopher Williams and Halle Berry, and chances are they'll tell you the exact same story. Christopher hit Holly. It's become more than just gossip. In the culture, it's become accepted as fact. But what if the story we've repeated for more than 30 years isn't actually the full story? Because Christopher Williams has spent decades saying he was blamed for something he didn't do. And if that's true, then one of Hollywood's biggest rumors may have rewritten an innocent man's legacy while the real story stayed hidden in the shadows. Tonight, we're opening the file. To understand the fall, you have to understand the height. In 1991, Christopher Williams was the leading man of R&B. New Jack City was a cultural phenomenon, and his hit "I'm Dreaming" was the soundtrack to the year. And Holly, she wasn't just a rising star, she was the next leading lady. When they stepped out together, they were the blueprint for black excellence. The public was obsessed because they looked like a perfect match. But behind the flashbulbs, the 90s media machine was already looking for a crack in the foundation. This is where we have to slow down and look at the turning point. In the early 90s, reports began to surface that Holly had suffered significant hearing loss due to a physical altercation in a past relationship. The media didn't wait for names. They didn't wait for a police report because Christopher was her most visible partner at the height of the story. The association was immediate. Notice how the media worked back then. They didn't always say he did it. Instead, they phrased it as many media reports and public discussions linked Christopher Williams to the allegations. It was a whisper campaign that turned into a roar, and almost overnight, the R&B heartthrob was recast as a villain. But here's where the research gets interesting. Christopher Williams has never wavered. From the mid-90s to his most recent podcast appearances, his story has remained the same. Christopher claims he wasn't the perpetrator. He was the one trying to help. Now, when we lay his timeline next to what Holly has publicly said over the years, things get complicated. Holly has spoken bravely about surviving abusive relationships, but she's famously has never publicly named the person responsible for the specific injury. In an investigative file, we don't choose sides. We lay both timelines next to each other and ask, why was the public so quick to pick him? To find the answer, we have to look at the other men in orbit. This is where the tabloid culture of the 90s truly shows its teeth. Enter Wesley Snipes and David Justice. If you look at the dates, the relationships overlapped in the public's mind. The media constantly rotated the villain role. When she was with David, the rumors pointed at Wesley. When she was with Wesley, they pointed at Christopher. What assumptions did the public make? And more importantly, how did the media benefit from keeping the mystery alive instead of finding the truth? This is about more than just a relationship. It's about how the 90s celebrity culture worked. This was the era of the expose. One rumor repeated enough times on TV gossip shows became accepted history. Because there was no social media for Christopher to instantly clear his name, the lie had a 30-year head start. This became bigger than Holly and Christopher. It's a case study in how a narrative can be built to protect the industry's favorite while sacrificing others. So here's today's receipt. Christopher Williams says history got it wrong. Halle Berry has survived unimaginable things and has spoken her truth on her own terms. The public connected those dots decades ago, and they never looked back. Whether you believe Christopher's version or not, one thing is undeniable. A single rumor shaped the way the entire generation remembers his legacy. And once a Hollywood story becomes accepted truth, it rarely gets another trial. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'll be down there to discuss. Case closed. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit that like button. Bye.
Welcome to the candy shop, where the glow don't ever stop.